Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading for February and happy birthday. We've just entered Aquarius season. So we're going to take a look at the general energies available for you during this time. Please tune in while I'm shuffling. Check in with your higher self and guides and ask them to join us here and pass along any messages that you need to hear through me via this tarot reading. You may want to grab some headphones so that you're not distracted by any other things going on around you while you're listening to this reading. And please don't multitask. Alright, let's take a look. So we have from the Major Arcana the Moon and the Strength in this reading. The rest of the cards are, there's quite a few court cards. There's 3 Queens in your spread. 2 of them are in reverse. We have 2 Pages as well. So there's a lot of energy of people or archetypes in your spread. So this could be describing other people, but it could also be highlighting aspects of your personality or your personal archetypes that are showing up around this time in different ways. We'll get into it. Oh yeah, there's also the Knight of Cups at the heart of the reading, crossed by the 5 of Pentacles. Let's start there. Knight of Cups, reversed, crossed by the 5 of Pentacles. So what this feels like to me, and given the other cards, which I'll talk about in a second, it feels like you may have had recently either begun a creative project with another person, or there was also the potential for a romantic or a sexual relationship with someone that was kind of showing up with some potential in the recent past. But what it looks like here is that there is either the offer is being retracted, or the collaboration is having a kind of rough patch, or the stability, or what seemed like the stability of a connection or of a union is maybe being disrupted due to other forces that are at play, and that could be some of these other characters that are in your reading, or other factors. We'll have a look as we go along through the reading. But that's my initial impression from this spread, is that something that may have shown potential recently, something that showed up in the very near past, which was either some kind of creative collaboration or a romantic, intimate connection with someone, is maybe not showing itself to be what you had maybe projected or imagined at the beginning. And that may be kind of bringing you to action, where you may be realizing that what you had perceived is really not totally what's there. Or for some of you, what else could be true here is that a person who may have shown up recently, could be this Knight of Cups, as a love offer or as a creative collaborator, is now showing themselves to be, how should I say that? There could be a renegotiation, like they could be changing their mind about what they were offering, or it could be that maybe there wasn't like really clear communication. There was maybe a lot of implication, and maybe now through action, I feel like it's more with this person. It's a little bit more about their action or their lack of action, which is where the communication is coming from, and it's less about actual verbal communication. So I'm kind of seeing this person that you're dealing with as these 2 Pages in your reading in reverse. So there could be a level of immaturity there. Could be a lack of awareness, a lack of consideration also for you. There could be a lack of readiness. There could be a lack of availability. There could be some poor communication or no communication. With the Pages are about communication, and seeing them both here in reverse is definitely feeling like the communication is very either scant or immature, or not in a good time frame. Like it's the late communication or no communication, delayed communication, immature communication. And with that as well, like I'm kind of feeling with these 2 Pages in the reading a little connection to the Aces as well. And the Ace that you have in your reading is also in reverse. So it does also feel like a contributor to perhaps an interpretation of there being a delay. So it might not be that this person is intentionally misleading you or misguiding you into what you may perceive to be there. Like there could be this, I feel like there's a lot of clarification needed here, but maybe you might be aware that there is a need for a lot of patience and sensitivity around the timing and when to broach a certain topic about whatever it is that you are trying to align to. There's a feeling here that you need to be really particular and cautious, not in a way that it's dangerous, but it's just more like really feeling the energy of what is possible to open up about in communication at the right time in order to reach a person's receptivity at exactly the right moment here. Because, if you are dealing with another person, I feel like there is some, again, this feeling of their lack of availability or lack of readiness is kind of here in this reading. They have some things to process. I feel like with the Moon and the Queen of Swords here, that there's either some emotional uncertainty or emotional readiness that they need to come around to, that they're not quite there yet. There's some, with this Queen of Swords here, I'm feeling like they're being a little bit detached and aloof from you. And none of this is either good or bad stuff, right? It's just how it is right now. It's not that this is a good person or a bad person. It's not that you're a good person or a bad person. It's just what's here right now is these energies. Because what I feel is like from your side, you have this sense of availability and connection with a person that is very familiar, and there's some like nostalgia. There's a sense of connection that you want to explore deeper. You also have this feeling here of like wanting to establish something really stable with longevity. But I feel like your other person here is not necessarily available to that. Not that they can't ever be, but as I said, the challenge for them, I feel, is to process a recent loss, Five of Pentacles. And even though this is crossing here as your challenge, this is your reading, I feel like this Knight of Cups reverse is the person that we're talking about. That is like the general theme of your reading is this person. That's what I feel. If this reading is not relating to you at all, and we're not dealing with a person per se, it could be either a creative project that you wanted to initiate and start, and maybe you are dealing with some disappointments or loss from the past that you maybe haven't yet processed yet, that might be making you feel insecure or lacking in the creative talent or the ability to actually proceed forward. So just find, if this is not your reading at all, then just turn it off and leave it. But if you're kind of relating to what I'm saying, but it's not about another person, then just apply the symbols and the messages to your own situation in the way that it makes sense for you. What else is here? So these three queens are very interesting. Queen of Wands reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed in the crowning card position and in the outcome, and then this Queen of Swords is in the hopes and fears position. So I'm hearing false start. So that's kind of tying me back again to these two pages reversed. Yeah, you have Page of Wands with Queen of Wands reversed, Page of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles both reversed. So this could be like you and your other person could be reflecting each other in similar ways. Like maybe your other person's not ready and is a bit immature. Maybe you're also like not in your fullest power right now for whatever reason. Perhaps that's what some of this experience is bringing up for you. There is something being triggered in you about your own grace and maturity and emotional intelligence and ability to be patient and ability to understand the timing of things and to be in your intuitive space, but without letting your emotions kind of overtake you and divert you away from your calm, central, balanced, natural state, and make you feel insecure and make you question your own sense of self-worth as a result of the way another person may be behaving. I hope this is making sense. With this Two of Cups upright with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, in the outcome, I feel like there is still potential here with this person. I'm not saying no. We'll have a look at the bottom of the deck in a second, but I feel like with this two of cups upright, either this is your hope still, like you may be still kind of circling the perimeter here to see if this person will come around, if there'll be a moment where they will turn and realize that you're already unavailable to them, or something along those lines. So it could go either way. It's not clear in this reading whether or not this person is actually someone to hold out for. Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Hermit reversed, Four of Cups reversed, and Three of Pentacles reversed. Again, it's not clear for me to say whether or not you should continue to pursue this person and be patient. I think the Six of Swords here in this reading is saying that you're hoping that for this person and for yourself, there will be a movement away from whatever difficulties you might both be experiencing in your own ways. And the Hermit reversed with the Four of Cups reversed, as well as this Four of Swords reversed in the foundation of the reading. These three cards here for me are saying that there is things that you cannot see. There are forces at play here that you may not have privy to, you may not have access to. And it's really not your job at this time to try to force anything to happen, to try to impress your will upon the situation. You can have your own intention for sure for what you see, but there's something here about trusting higher forces that are kind of, helping and supporting in this environment that you're in right now. And perhaps with the Hermit in reverse, there's a little reminder to perhaps take more time to actually connect to that energy and be more available to accessing a higher wisdom in the circumstance, so that you don't necessarily feel thrown off or at the mercy of another person's behavior or another person's experiences while you're kind of waiting for them to see that you are available already or a good match for them. Because they may not actually be really able to see you in that way at this time. That might not be true for everybody. That could also be why these queens are in reverse here, is that you may not feel totally empowered at this time. You may not feel like the person that you're reflecting with is actually able to see you. You kind of, I feel like there's a little bit of invisibility in this reading for you. Now, the Strength is paired here with the Page of Wands in reverse. So, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like the pages could be describing a little bit of difficulty with communication, some lack of communication, poorly timed communication, or no communication at all. Could also be immature behavior on the part of you or another person. But paired with the Strength here, I feel the message is that there's a need for you to bring some, like restraint and patience and humility to the situation, and like just more of the same, more patience, more perseverance, more endurance as well. Nine of Wands is here at the bottom of the deck, also feeling like there's a need for more endurance, for more patience, for more persistence, but without any forcing of a situation, without any. It's about finding that balance between the right amount of receptivity and presence and the right amount of like just finding those moments where being able to kind of nudge communication in a certain way is wise. Use wisdom here, use discernment, use your intuition always. I feel that's it for this part of the reading. I hope that's making sense for you guys. Just check over. There is a bit of a hanging energy with this reading. Like there's no definitive clarification I can give you about whether or not that there is going to be something opening up here. It's kind of shrouded from me. There's like a little bit of concealed energy in this reading. So it's definitely a lot about patience in that case. That's always going to trigger patience when you're not able to see clearly what's going on. So we'll leave it there and move on to the higher octave reading with the Voyager deck. So tune in with me again while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck. We're going to look at any karmic and spiritual forces that might be at play and hopefully see if there's any more reveal that we can provide through this Voyager deck reading with the holographic mandala spread. So let's take a look. Magician reversed at the bottom of the deck. Sage of Cups reversed, crossed by Devil. Five of Wands. Temperance. Four of Wands. Six of Worlds. Sage of Pentacles, Sage of Worlds, Empress. Ten of Crystals reversed, Hierophant reversed. Chariot. The Universe reversed, that's the World card. Sage of Crystals and Child of Pentacles reversed. That's the Page of Pentacles that you had in the previous reading. This reading feels completely different. Completely different. The first spread had a lot of reversals, and it felt really, as I said, like a lot of concealed energy, a lot of lack of clarity, poor communication. This reading has got almost all the cards in the upright. There's a lot of major arcana cards in here too, so let's go through those. You have Devil as the crossing card, Universe reversed, Hierophant reversed, Chariot, Temperance, Empress, and there's also a bunch of court cards in here too, but you have the Sage of Crystals, Sage of Worlds, both upright. And what else? Sage of Cups at the heart of the reading in reverse. So 3 sages in the reading. Now the sages in this deck refer to the non-gender, the gender-neutral energy of one who has mastered that element, right? So in other decks you have Page, Knight, Queen, and King. In this deck you have the Child, the Woman and the Man, and then the Sage, which is, as I said, mastery over that element. So 3 in this reading. That's telling me that this instance that you're in, this situation that you're in, this moment that you're having now, is very educational. Also being that you have the Hierophant and the Chariot in your reading. There's a kind of schooling going on here. There's some karmic cleansing and purification happening. There's a lot of, I feel like that's very clear in this reading. I feel like your entire like DNA structure, your energetic grid is being really purified and cleansed. Even though it may not seem like it at the while, because what it feels like is that you're under forces that are a little bit oppressive and a bit, as I said, there's this energy of concealment, which is maybe could bring you to a place of confusion and uncertainty and self-doubt and things like that. So that's something to be aware of in this time, is to not let your mind get carried too far away with that kind of energy, and look at the circumstances as a way of seeing where you can work on your own self-love and self-esteem in a way that kind of is nurturing and stabilizing and helps you harmonize and balance circumstances, so that regardless of what other individuals around you may be experiencing, that impenetrable peace remains intact and you are able to kind of maintain your frequency in a way that is really calming and just like a presence for yourself most of all, but I guess for others around you too. That could be like a positive influence that brings a kind of sense of everything being okay the way it is, regardless of what kind of turbulence people might be feeling around you. There is also here in this reading a lot of creativity. There is fertility as well, but I'm not necessarily seeing pregnancy with that. I'm feeling this energy of productivity and creativity and output. So that's something that you can also do with this energy, is channel it into some creative pursuits that will really help you process the information and turn it into something really valuable that you are able to use for your own healing process, but then also can be accessed by others in a certain way for their process as well. I love that you have this, in this quadrant, you have this, the Sage of Pentacles alongside of the Page of Pentacles, Child of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is in reverse. So what this feels like to me, and in the previous reading, you had that Page of Pentacles here in the outcome, also in reverse. This is the same card. And in the previous reading, I was kind of interpreting it as immaturity or poor communication or, delay even, or lack of readiness. In this reading, it feels a little bit different. What I'm getting with this, because it is paired with the Sage of Pentacles, the energy I'm getting from this is, yes, like take the higher ground in this situation, be more wise, like access your intuition and your knowing and your clarity about the stability and certainty and groundedness that you are with and have within you, regardless of circumstances. while also being really playful and childlike in the experience and not taking it too seriously, not letting it kind of bury you under the like any kind of heaviness that might make you feel overwhelmed by challenges. Just take it really lightly. And part of also the learning that you're going through right now, as you have the Sage of Cups in reverse crossed by the Devil at the center of the reading, I do feel that there is also here more of a, it's kind of like this upward spiral of kind of an exponential quantum shift in your emotional and spiritual development through this kind of compressed, somewhat challenging energy that I'm getting from some of the cards here. And there is a level of what may be really challenging to you right now is this feeling of being able to detach from something that you really want. I think that's a large part of the challenge that you're facing right now, is like there's something really right in front of you that you want, that you feel like is the ultimate win, the dream come true, the like masterful manifestation. But you're getting a little bit schooled here about how you may be a little bit attached to that. And so that's something that you can also process and work through in this situation, is address your attachment to what you think is like your dream thing. And if you can work with that energy and use a little bit of like detachment and more of that kind of calm, patient, grounded security of self-love and understanding that everything is okay no matter what the outcome is, that might actually really help you in this situation to, again, just like really master the opportunities of what's being presented here for you. What else is here? I really like this central axis of the reading. You have Four of Wands in the recent past, out to the Six of Pentacles, both upright. That to me is like, it's kind of saying that there is something unique about a connection that you have with a person here. And I do understand like what the energy of this spread is like. It's something really unique and very particular about a connection that you have with someone. And I can also understand that with that same energy, like the frustration that you might feel by like being so close that you can almost taste it, but it's actually very far away from you in a certain way. But what this is saying here with this Four of Wands, Six of Pentacles is that regardless of what outcomes may be, there is something really profound and unique and specific about what you're experiencing right now, independently, but as a result of the energy of another person that's in your field, in your matrix, kind of having influence, and you're also having an influence on them too. Don't think that it's all just one way here. So your awareness of the energy of synergy is really important at this time, and also with that, it's like not attaching, while being aware of that synergistic energy of healing that's happening right now between you and another individual, or yourself if this is not about another person. There is something to be aware of here where you need to release yourself from any attachment to a certain outcome, and just know that there is a process unfolding here that is supportive and nurturing. And while there may seem like some constraints and some challenges and some difficulties, there is a lot of things that are being purified. I felt that in the first reading. There's like an energy of clearance here, karmic clearance. But again, there's they keep repeating the same thing. Don't be attached to an outcome, because you could miss the real value that's here if you think that the point is being together with a person. They're not saying no and they're not saying yes. It's not about that. It's about what you can like pick up and let go of along the way that gains you like understanding and healing, and helps you become more of who you are, and let go of the things that are like inauthentic or insubstantial or irrelevant to the person that you're evolving into. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Magician reversed, Ace of Cups upright. There's the fourth sage now. So we have the Sage of Wands, and he's upright as well. And there's another page. You have the Page of Cups in reverse. It's really interesting. I feel like there's a couple of aces in this reading, and the Magician as well. So that's all connected back to like something powerful and new, like some kind of potential for a new beginning that may have some delays with it, that may have like what I'm feeling with that is like you can sense all of the potential that's here, as I can in this reading. That there is something about what needs to be shed and removed and eliminated and processed, and like some kind of old things that are obstacles to the way right now. That's the stuff that really needs to be addressed here. With all these pages and the aces and the magician card in this reading, I feel that that's here. Like in order to have the new beginning and to be at the beginning of a new cycle, standing in like really firmly in your personal power, in your authority, in your open-heartedness, there is still some strands of things that may need your attention in order to like fully, first of all, acknowledge them so that they can be transmuted and transcended. Now back to the Sage here. So Sage of Wands here, Child of Cups reversed. It's a similar feeling that we have. It's the same kind of, there's a Sage and a Child here, and a Sage and a Child here. The Child is reversed in both, and the Sage is upright in both. It's the same kind of feeling. It's like, yes, be in your wisdom, be in your knowing, be in your maturity, and in your, your understanding and your very highly evolved state. Also, be your playful, silly, childlike self and enjoy what's happening without any attachments for the future. Don't grasp onto things. Don't build some story in your mind about what's going on, because it will inevitably lead to disappointments and feelings of grief and remorse if things are not looking the way you are. But actually, you're getting everything you want here. It just might not look like you had imagined. I feel like I'm going to leave you a reading here, Aquarius. I hope that was helpful. I hope there's some things there you can work with. Chariot upright with the Hierophant reverse in the outcome. I didn't really talk on these. I would just say, like, this is very much about you and your own personal development, your education, your schooling. There's also something here about, it's almost like that, because the Hierophant is about institutions and conventionality. Is that the right word? Conventionality, convention. Tradition, old school ways. But Aquarius is the opposite of that. Aquarius wants to be, liberated and unexpected and shocking even, and like breaking down of those kind of old traditional things into something that's completely out of the box. And so there could be something in that here about you healing some kind of old things, again breaking out of old patterns and conditions, old conditioning, old school ways. But most of all, because the Chariot is here with the Hierophant, it's not about the lovers. It's number 7. Number 6 is the lovers. Number 7 is about your spiritual nature, your pursuit of the best potential that you can attain for the given what you have come in with. So keep it on that level, on that note. Minimize any or eliminate any attachments to things being a certain way. Eliminate any attachments to result. Channel your energy into creativity, into higher learning, into playfulness, and into understanding. And you'll get what there is here for you to receive. Aquarius, thanks for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next reading.